Saturn retrograde, which is happening on 18th April 2018, and it's going to be retrograde till 6 September 2018. And Saturn is in Capricorn this year, if you remember correctly. Well, Saturn takes approximately 29.5 years to do a complete revolution around our Sun. And Saturn moves into retrograde approximately every year for around 140 days. Saturn is often referred to as a planet of karma, discipline, or the dispenser of justice. It is very thorough, unrelenting, and breaks down our control issues. Now, I like to view the Saturn as the old sages say, that when Saturn is retro, it is not a time to take shortcuts, but an opportunity to take things slowly and to do it correctly the first time around. So we introspect, we take a reality check, we are thorough in our homework, only then we start executing it. That is what is going to bring us success. Or you may find you will be revisiting the project over and over again. So if you're not determined, if you're not disciplined, if you're not taking a realistic check, not doing your homework well, so your projects will keep dropping. So it's very important for you that during this retrograde to take a review, to redetermine the things, to reassess your situation of life both personally and professionally, and to take things one step at a time. For I have always believed in the 4 P's, that is, proper planning brings in peak performances, and that's exactly what the Saturn retrograde asks you to do. It asks you to slow down. It tells you that reassess, review, redetermine all the facts and be realistic, and then approach your situations or your projects or your relationships one step at a time, and you're bound to get the success that you have been envisioning. Now, it is a time to understand. Now, when the Saturn is retrograde, it is a time to understand your limitations or the limitations of those around you. And this is what teaches you, and probably Saturn tells you or prompts you to be patient. Because when we are trying to understand ourselves or the other people, a lot of patience is required. So patience needs to be exercised. Authority may also be an issue at this time, and you may feel like fighting the system. You may feel that you really need to speak the truth. You really need to be a little aggressive and forceful, and you are the only one probably who can clear the system. Or even at your family or in relationships, in close ones, you feel, I need to sort things out. But when Saturn is retrograde, you don't have to sort things out. You have to be patient and review and reassess everything and do things slowly, one at a time, and you will see the sorting out does on its own. Authority may also be an issue at this time, and you may feel like that you need to fight the system, be it in your family or with your relations, place of work, or the greater sphere of community or the government. You'll be agitated. You'll feel as if, I really need to stand up, I really need to do something. But can you do it all alone? The answer is no. But if you slowly and steadily ponder over the issues and build your network, probably you'll be able to change the system. So in a nutshell, when Saturn teaches you patience, it actually also teaches us, be the change that you want to see in the world around you. So when Saturn is retrograde, there also tends to be a lack of boundaries. So be mindful of saying yes to everything and then feeling so overwhelmed and at a loss of power. So do not say yes when you're actually meaning to say no. Be honest with yourself, be non-aggressive, conform to the correct way of doing things. There is never a right or wrong, but there is always the correct way of doing things and the incorrect way of doing things. And I would put it this way, that the correct way of doing things is when you are patient, and when you know that the Saturn is going retrograde, how you have to not believe the immediate, but you have to be a little patient before committing to anything. You have to be a little deliberate because you're reviewing, you're reassessing. The Saturn is going retrograde. It just asks you to stop and think before you act. So you may say things yes, and then suddenly you may be overwhelmed that you're taking the burden on yourself. So during the period of the retrograde, it says be mindful of saying yes. Only say yes if you mean to. You should be learning how to walk your talk, not only talking. That's all what it teaches us. Take the opportunity during the Saturn retrograde to do some deep soul researching. So it's very important that when Saturn is going retrograde, you do a lot of soul searching and assess what needs to be changed and prepare for this change once the Saturn moves direct. So you're doing soul searching when it is retrograde. You are wanting to change a lot of things internally. Once you start changing things internally in your own side, your outer world will automatically change accordingly. And now you can start executing those things, what you want them to be changed when the Saturn goes direct. It is a time to assess your failures, to learn from our mistakes and emerge from the introspection and wisdom and understanding, and you're sure going to feel and bless the Saturn planet for it going retrograde, because it has helped you become more realistic of yourself. You have become much more wiser, and now you know what is the correct path to do things so that your projects and your personal life is successful.